The New York Post front page headline, Dumbotron.
The CEO caught on Kiss Cam at a Coldplay concert, snuggling with his head of human resources.
Problem here is that Andy Byron is married to someone other than Kristin Cabot, who, again, the irony of her being head of HR.
You do have to think about the children and the spouses. We're all laughing about it,
Yes.
but they're all families and stuff.
There are a lot of damage.
A $2 million waterfront home, a marriage that built an empire, all shaken in 30 seconds on a Coldplay Kiss Cam. And the man with everything to lose didn't say a single word.
Ooh, look at these people.
It all began, reportedly, in front of 65,000 people at Gillette Stadium. Coldplay's music lit up the night, thousands of glowing wristbands turning the crowd into a galaxy. The camera panned, searching for smiles, and then it found them. Kristin Cabot, the wife of billionaire Andrew Cabot. Andy Byron, CEO of a $200 million tech company. Too close. Too familiar. The stadium screens froze on their faces as Chris Martin joked, according to multiple outlets. Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on, you're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
Phones shot up, social media ignited, and in that instant, a 30-second clip would allegedly dismantle careers, marriages, and reputations. But what happened next wasn't loud. It was silent, strategic. The kind of silence that can bury someone deeper than any headline. It was July 16th, 2025. Coldplay's Music of the Spheres World Tour had rolled into Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. The show was at its emotional peak. Fix You swelling through the night air, the crowd singing every word. The Kiss Cam segment had been playing all evening, flashing couples onto the Jumbotron for a quick, lighthearted moment. But when the lens landed on a certain VIP suite, the tone shifted. Inside that box, reportedly enjoying the show, were Andy Byron, CEO of Astronomer, a tech firm valued at over $200 million, and Kristin Cabot, the company's chief people officer. Kristin is also the wife of billionaire Andrew Cabot, head of the privateer rum brand. The footage showed them leaning close, whispering and smiling.
They don't even get caught if they're just both at the concert together. They only get caught because they're openly canoodling at the concert. It betrays a lack of respect for any sort of judgment, but also for a basic value system.
I do feel sorry for their partners and spouses that they had to find out this way.
Then came the moment that would loop endlessly online. Kristin leaning in toward Byron. The stadium erupted in cheers and gasps. Chris Martin looked at the screen, smirked, and said, according to multiple concertgoers who posted clips online, either they're having an affair or they're just very shy. In seconds, dozens of phones captured the exchange. By the time Coldplay finished the song, clips were already racking up views on TikTok, X, and Reddit. Within 24 hours, according to El País, the moment had been seen more than 100 million times worldwide. It was the kind of viral moment that turns an inside joke into an international headline. But for Andrew Cabot, thousands of miles away, this wasn't just gossip. It was a public detonation of his marriage.
Two Coldplay concert-goers caught canoodling during the show at Gillette Stadium in Massachusetts.
They realize they're on camera, then they pull the ripcord on that moment. I don't know where he went. Can you imagine getting busted at a Coldplay concert of all places?
While that 30-second clip was burning its way across the internet, Andrew Cabot wasn't even in the country. According to the Economic Times, the billionaire CEO of Privateer Rum was in Japan on business, thousands of miles away from Gillette Stadium, when the Kiss Cam moment went viral. By the time he landed back in the United States, the video had already been dissected frame by millions. Social media had identified every person in that VIP suite, and the Cabot name, long associated with old money Boston respectability, was suddenly trending alongside words like affair and scandal. Behind closed doors, friends of the family reportedly said the marriage between Andrew and Kristin had already been under strain for months. One source told Bollywood Shadas that the two had been quietly discussing separation before the concert incident. Yet, just weeks earlier, the couple had appeared together in public looking united, attending social functions, photographed smiling, wedding rings still visible. The sudden shift was jarring. Neighbors in Rye, New Hampshire, told The Sun they had recently seen Kristin gardening outside their $2.2 million home, this time without her wedding ring. To the public, that detail became a symbol. To Andrew, it may have been confirmation, and if the reports were true, the kiss cam wasn't the start of the story. It was the spark that lit a fuse that had been smoldering for months. But what Andrew Cabot did next wasn't loud, angry, or messy. It was something far more calculated. While the internet replayed the kiss cam clip on a loop, the shockwaves hit astronomers' corporate headquarters. According to the Economic Times, both Andy Byron, the company's CEO, and Kristin Cabot, its chief people officer, were placed on administrative leave within days of the concert. On paper, it was framed as an internal review. But, according to page 6, the context was unavoidable. Two top executives, both married to other people, appearing in a viral video that ignited questions about workplace ethics, company image, and personal judgment. 5 days later, reportedly on July 19th, Byron resigned from his role. The official statement made no mention of the scandal, but his name was quietly removed from Astronomer's leadership page. Kristin Cabot followed soon after, stepping down from her position and vanishing from the company's public listings. By the end of the week, Astronomer had appointed Pete DeJoy as interim CEO and moved to distance itself from the story entirely. Internally, according to sources cited by The Daily Beast, there were concerns about the optics of an HR leader tasked with upholding workplace conduct being at the center of such a public controversy. The scandal wasn't just about a kiss, it was about trust. Inside a marriage, inside a company, and inside an industry where reputation is everything. But for Andrew Cabot, the real power play wasn't in press releases or corporate shakeups. It was about what would happen next outside the boardroom. In the days after the resignations, the public waited for the next move, a lawsuit, a joint statement, maybe even a public showdown. But from Andrew Cabot, nothing. The billionaire and Kristin Cabot shared a $2.2 million waterfront home in Rye, New Hampshire, purchased just months before the scandal broke, according to property records reviewed by The Sun. That house, with its sweeping ocean views and meticulously landscaped grounds, had once been a symbol of stability. Now it became the quiet backdrop to a marital implosion. Neighbors told The Sun they saw Kristin outside, tending to the garden, this time without her wedding ring. No moving vans, no shouting, just a visual shift that spoke louder than words. Financially, Divorce Insiders told NDTV that a split of this scale, given the Cabot family's generational wealth, could involve complex asset divisions. While there's no public record of a filing yet, reports suggest Andrew began discreet legal preparations soon after the kiss cam incident. And here's where his strategy diverged from the typical high-profile response. There were no leaks to the press, no public accusations, no retaliatory interviews. Instead, Kristin's name quietly disappeared, first from Privateer Rum's public materials, then from any official events or appearances. It was a slow fade, not a sudden blow. But in the world of Boston Brahmin power plays, that's often how you erase someone, not with a headline, but with silence. In the weeks that followed, the noise of the kiss cam scandal began to fade from daily headlines. But Andrew Cabot's silence never broke. According to Fox Business, Kristin Cabot has not issued any public statement since the incident. Her social media accounts remain inactive, her professional profiles scrubbed. She has not appeared alongside Andrew at any public or corporate events. The only sightings reported by The Sun show her outside the Rye, New Hampshire property, watering plants, carrying groceries, always alone, and always without her wedding ring. Meanwhile, Andrew continued business as usual. Privateer Rum released product updates. Industry insiders spotted him at closed-door investor events, but there was no mention of Kristin. Her name was absent from company press releases, shareholder letters, and promotional materials. Even charity rosters, where she once sat on the board, now listed vacant, where her name used to be. According to observers, this wasn't just absence, it was a systematic removal, a deliberate erasure from the circle she once occupied. No confrontation, no accusations, just gone. In the public eye, it almost looked like the scandal had never happened. But for those watching closely, the silence told its own story. This wasn't avoidance. This was control. And for Andrew Cabot, that silence might have been the most powerful statement of all. Andrew Cabot didn't storm into a courtroom. He didn't post cryptic quotes online or call out names in the press. Instead, he let absence do the work. In a world where billion-dollar reputations can be shredded in a single headline, Andrew reportedly chose the one tactic most people overlook: strategic silence. No fuel for the fire. No public reaction for gossip sites to spin, just removal. For Kristin, that meant her name vanishing from corporate rosters, her public identity shrinking overnight, and her social presence going dark. For Andrew, it meant holding control, not just over the narrative, but over the very spaces she once occupied. Some see it as dignified restraint, others call it calculated revenge. But one thing is clear. According to observers, the erasure was not accidental. Now, weeks later, questions linger. Will Kristin fight back legally? Will divorce filings reveal the private details this public scandal has kept hidden? Or will the silence continue, leaving the truth buried beneath Boston's oldest and most guarded social circles? In the end, the Kiss Cam moment may have lit the match, but it was Andrew Cabot's quiet, deliberate choices that kept the fire burning without a single word. If you've ever seen someone disappear from a story without explanation, you know the silence is never empty. And if you want to know what happens when that silence finally breaks, make sure you're subscribed, because this is one scandal that isn't over yet.